Not involved, no involvement.
Not involvement, not contributing, a little on the weaker side, probably not doing it, right? Passive and indirect, you are passive, you are indirect, you don't talk directly, you are in that mode where you are, on the back foot. It communicates a message of inferiority. What does it mean when you say communicates a message of inferiority? What does it mean?
B is not aggressive.
If I am not having a assertive behavior, I am on a passive behavior. How does it make me feel inferior? Probably it gives a perception to people that I am unable to talk, I am intimidated by something around me, I am not in that mode of communication, I am really feeling inferior to others, not finding myself capable enough to talk to others, and that is why I am on the passive mode. He says yes, I say yes, he says no, I say no. So I feel inferior to others, probably the message would go in that manner. Wants, needs and rights of others more important than self. When you're in a passive behavior, you believe by design or by default that others, what they are saying is right, their needs, their things are more appropriate, they are into a more, their urge is better off than me, so I will not do anything, I will stay in my own thing. Even though if your thing is important, you will still agree to the other person's thing because you are in the passive mode of communication or behavior. And then create some win-lose situation. Now, when you are in the passive state of mind, like a behavior, obviously you will agree to things which you should not be agreeing to. Probably. You should not be readily accepting it, but you are accepting that, so it means that you are in that passive situation. You create a win for the other person, but you create a loss for yourself. And finally, victims and not winners. Most of the time they become victims. Most of the time they are unable to win over a situation because they come into that passive mode. They come into that mode where they are taken over, the discussion is taken over by them. They come in control of others. Rather than controlling the situation, they come in the control of others. So that's why they become victims to the situations. So many a times you must have seen there are some people who are very soft, who are very naive, they are very passive to your response. Now, passive behavior will result into this kind of situations where when you don't come up with your thoughts, you don't come up with your points, you don't come up with your side of the story, you will always be victimized by others. It will be easier for them to take control over you. So that is very
One thing,
yeah.
how is it to be previous life? Like rights of others, needs of others, they are not. Or if somebody considers the rights of others, needs of others, wants of others to be more important, how is that to be considered as a non-assertive passive behavior? That
See,
is a
if
good trait to have.
it's a good trait to have, but provided your right and your need is not in that important at that given situation. For example, if I am in a situation where I need that kind of an attention or I need that kind of a benefit to be coming out and I am in urgent need, but the person on the other end is not ready to understand my problem. He is not understanding my thing. He is putting his right first, his thing first. That becomes a situation where you are passive. You don't even mention about it. You don't even talk about it and you agree, yes, your right is better, your thing is more important. You are in a more needful situation, so I will back out. I will not do that. If that situation demands that yes, your need or point is more important than his, then you are being assertive about it and you're negotiating with him. But if you find that the other person is just empowering you, he's just overpowering you, not empowering, overpowering you with his thing, so you are taking it plainly without even debating or discussing with him, then it is something. Now, for example, you are at a doctor. Okay, now you are running a high fever and the doctor is checking on some patient who is there. Now the patient is checked, but the doctor is still spending time with that patient chatting about it, and you are running very high temperature. Now you go to the doctor and you tell him that, sir, please, because I am in a situation where I am not able to take it anymore, please check me first, and then you may check the other patients. I am in a situation. Now that doctor, he will tell you that no, he came before you. He has to be checked first. You please sit down there and wait. Now in this situation, what is the right and what is the the message?
I would only think it from this point of view that the other guy is also having a fever equally high, then he has the first right.
Exactly. So in this case, he has the first right. Brilliant. But in the case where it is not the scenario, you can see that they are having a casual chat, and you are still getting.
Then you have to be active.
Then you have to be assertive enough to tell him that, sir, you can continue this conversation, but please check me first. I am in a more needed situation. I am having a very high fever. I may fall unconscious if I am not treated immediately. But if the doctor tells you to please wait, despite the fact that he is only doing a casual conversation with that, and you accept that and you come out, is a passive behavior.
The reason why I highlighted that is that line points out to a selfish behavior.
Yes, but it is situation based. It is not always like this that if I genuinely feel that you have a right. Again, the same example I put it in another way. I am having a fever, very high fever, but there is some accident victim which comes, which needs immediate attention. There it is a selfish behavior that no sir, I came first, you please treat him later. I have been here, but he is dying. Blood is coming out and he needs to be immediately given medical attention. Then yes, you are right. Then I cannot be, my passive behavior, that time it is not passive again. That time my behavior becomes assertive because I am understanding the other person's situation. The moment I understand the other person's situation, I become an assertive. But the moment I am taken over by somebody else, I become passive. And the moment I overpower this person with my behavior, I become aggressive. So you have to, the situation is very important, sir. So depending on that situation, you have to behave. So it's like that. Hope I could.
Yeah.
So just repeat the traits of the 4 columns A, B, C, D.
Sorry?
A, B, C, D traits.
Traits. Okay. The first A column is
Submissive.
submissive.
Yeah.
The B column is aggressive. The C column is assertive. And finally the D column is passive.